Hey everyone, this is Yusuf from Crafting Clouds, and in today's video, we're going to be going over emailing out of Method and understanding the different options of integrating with Method, as well as pricing considerations, as well as my recommended approach. So let's begin. So right now, as you can see, I'm in my Method demo account, and I'm in my email settings for the entire account. So where you need to go for email settings is if you go and you click your profile icon and you hit account settings, okay, and then you hit communication. This is where you're going to land for your email settings. Now, this is an area that's only accessible for admins. So if you're not an admin, either get admin access or reach out to your admin to set this up for you. So you'll see that there's two options here. One is send emails from Method servers, which is recommended, as then there's also set up my custom server. So basically, the difference between these two options is that for the Method servers, when you're sending out of Method, it is going to maximize your deliverability, which is very important. You know, when you send out emails out of Method, you want to make sure that it's actually being received to the recipient and it's being received the right way. It's not landing into spam or anything like that. So this is definitely a good option. Now, if you require specific email server requirements for your company, then this might be the better option for you. And as you can see, it gives you the two most popular options, which is Microsoft or Google. So that's the Gmail and Outlook. And then if you have your own custom email provider that's not either of those, then you can go ahead and choose that too. Now, this is a good option if, you know, like I said, you need to address certain security configurations that Method can't address, then this option has got you covered. Now, something that I want you to consider is when we go, and I'm going to move over to this diagram. And in this diagram, what you can see is, okay, in this diagram, what you can see is, I want to just quickly go over the different types of emailing that could happen out of Method. So you have both transactional and marketing emails. So this is important because you want to understand exactly what Method could email and what they could do. So Method for transactional, it could be, you know, an email, a single email that you're sending out of Method for a particular customer. Maybe your sales rep is going in and sending out an email for a payment notification or an invoice reminder. This is known as a transactional email. Now, a lot of automation could happen there with transactional emails, where you can have an automated invoice reminder for past due invoices. That is still considered transactional. But Method also can take care of marketing. So what I consider marketing is really anything over 100 emails at one time. I think that is kind of my understanding and what is a good understanding of how marketing works. And it's mainly for promotional purposes. So, you know, you might have a 10% discount that you want to give out to a particular customer type out of QuickBooks, and you want to send off that email campaign out of Method. That's when you can go ahead and you can use Method's out of the box campaigns app for that. And you can create your email template and make sure that you're sending off all those to the number of contacts. And the good thing about the marketing out of Method is that you can choose tens of thousands of contacts that you want to send an email out to. Method is pretty powerful when it comes to marketing as well. Now, in terms of pricing, one thing I wanted to basically share with you is the pricing and how it works with Method compared to competitors such as Mailchimp, which is the leading email marketing platform today. So pricing in Method is you're given 5,000 free emails per month per account. So as long as you're under the 5,000 or equal to 5,000, you're not going to have to pay a penny more for emailing out of Method. And that's comprised of both your transactional and marketing emails. Now, just to give you an example, let's say your company does an average of 20,000 emails per month. That means you're going to be paying for 15,000 emails above that 5,000 threshold at 0.0009 cents USD per email. So that equates about to $13.50 American per month for sending out 20,000 emails. Now, in Mailchimp, what they do is they actually base their pricing off of the number of contacts. So if you need to send emails to over 10,000 contacts, then this can get really, really expensive really quick. Just to show you, just for 1,500 contacts, they're charging you $62 Canadian per month, which would probably be around $50 American per month, and that's already much more than the 1350 that you see here. And they allow you to send up to 18,000 emails each month. So when you compare Method's pricing structure for emailing versus Mailchimp's, it's actually a lot more cost effective to do emailing out of Method CRM and do your marketing out of Method CRM, because you're paying much, much less, and there's no restriction in terms of the number of contacts. If I want to send 20,000 emails per month and each one of those emails is going to a different contact, I can. That's not going to affect your pricing. The pricing is very simple. Anything over 5,000 emails, you're paying 0.0009 cents USD per email per month. Okay. Now I want to go into the email setup options. So the email setup options is, like I said, we had the Method servers, right? So going back to this page right here, send emails from Method servers, and then set my own custom server. We're going to be going to the differences of these two in a little bit more detail. As well as you'll notice when I click you'll notice this authenticated domains section when you click send emails from Method servers. Now, if I go and I just hit set up my own custom server, that authenticated domain section is now gone. That's because you don't need to authenticate your domain since you're going through your own company email server. It's going to automatically send any emails from your email domain. Now, the reason why we have this authenticated domain option is because of this. If you don't authenticate your domain out of Method and you just choose the send email from Method servers option, what's going to happen is, let me scroll in. You'll notice this is an example email that I received. And this essentially looks at the from address. So I received an email, I went to my inbox, but it shows the person's name, right? Now, this, because you see my name twice, is because I just sent it to myself for the purpose of this video. But in the real use case, it would be a different person here. It shows the person's name, but then in pointy brackets, it shows notifications at mail.method.me. So that indicates that it's actually coming from Method. That email is not, it's going through Method's servers. Now, a lot of companies don't like that. It may come across as a little, they just want it to be a little bit branded better. They want to have their company email there. So what you could do is, so this is with no authenticated domain. So that means when you don't authenticate your domain. Now, what you can do is you can go back here, okay, and you can actually go ahead and you can authenticate your domain. So mine is craftingclouds.com, and I click add. Okay. Now, right away, it shows the status of pending, and then it gives you the instructions, very, very clear, with a setup guide if you need to go into more detail. Now, this link I'll have in the description for this video below, and it gives you a very thorough video and thorough steps as to how you go ahead and add your DNS records to your email provider. I know it looks a little intimidating, but it's really not. It's pretty straightforward if you just follow the video. But right here, it gives you your CNAME records that you need to add into your DNS settings for your email provider. So if you're with, if your domain, let's say you bought your domain from Squarespace, you want to log into your Squarespace website, okay? Go to your DNS settings for your domain that you bought from Squarespace and enter in these CNAME records into the DNS settings. So you have your host values already given to you, as well as your data values. And it's going to be explicit. It's going to be very, very straightforward when you go into that DNS setting. It's going to ask for those records as well. As soon as you copy those records in and you hit save, right, this will automatically update. And it may take some time. So this says after 24 hours, you should see the status update. It says up to 24 hours, but it typically takes 5 to 10 minutes. I remember when I did it for another business owner of mine, it was fairly quick. It was more along the lines of 5 to 10 minutes to get their domain authenticated. And what will happen is it will show this option right here. It's going to show verified right there. That's going to be the status, and that's how you know it worked. Okay. Now, if you're having troubles with this, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'll have my contact information in the description below. We can go through it together. So scroll up to the top. Okay. So again, so with the authenticated domain, you're not gonna see that mail.method notifications@mail.method.me email anymore. It's actually going to show your email address, which is better. It's a little bit more professional, and that way your branding's on point, and whoever your recipient understands that they're replying back to an email address that they're familiar with. Now, not here, they're still replying back to an email address that they're familiar with, because you see here reply to, and it shows that person's email address. But it could be a little misleading for the recipient, because they're going to see notifications@mail.method.me. So just something to point out. Now, that was for sending through the method servers, right? So that was that option that we had. And I'll just go back quickly for you. So that was this option here. But what if we go through the custom server? Okay. So if you go through the custom server, all right, there's some pros and cons for using a custom server. So again, one that I mentioned already is, let's say you have a little bit more stringent security requirements for your email, settings for your company, and you have your own company email server in-house, then yes, the custom server will be the better approach. Now, another pro is that there's no associated cost. So because you're no longer using method servers, and you're actually integrating directly with, let's say, your Outlook or your Gmail, you're not going to pay that 0.0009 cents. It's just, you can send as many emails as you'd like, and that's it. Another pro is, and this is specifically to Gmail only, not Outlook, is that any emails you send through Method that is integrated to your Gmail server, custom server, it will show up in your Gmail outbox. So you'll see those emails show up. Outlook, unfortunately, they're a little bit more stringent, and they're a little bit more strict. You will not see, even if you integrate with your Outlook server, no emails will show up in the inbox. So I just wanted to make that explicitly clear. Now, one thing I also want, and this is kind of big with going through your custom server, you lose access to something called the email queue in Method CRM. And the reason for this is because the email queue only works off of Method servers. And I'll show you what that is. So under email settings, right, you have these options. You'll see this view all emails section right here. If you click this, all right, this is known as the email queue. So this is actually something that you can actually bring to any area of Method. You don't have to only see it here. This is actually a table that you can, customize and bring wherever you'd like into a more convenient location. But this table shows you who the recipient sender is, the subject line, the user that basically triggered the email in Method, and when it was delivered. And it shows you the status. So the various statuses that you might see here is opened, clicked, you might see bounced, you might see, I think those are the main ones. But essentially it gives you visibility into, and this is very, very, very cool. And it basically gives you insight into, who actually received your email, if they've been successfully delivered. So you can identify if some were not, or they bounced, that means that it's a junk email and you have to update it in Method. Who clicked the email, and this will tie back into that, especially into that email marketing part out of Method. This will help derive metrics in terms of how successful your marketing campaigns are. So this is a really neat feature. Now, if you go through your custom server, you lose access to this, which is pretty big, pretty substantial. Now, another con is, and this is something through experience that I've noticed. Again, I was a Method employee for 6.5 years, where I became a lead solutions engineer there. All I did was build solutions for business owners, such as yourself who's watching this video. I specialize in this. I became an expert in it. And now I've been customizing and doing this for almost 10 years now. And through my experience, I noticed that there was always some problems that would come up. Not for everyone, but for some for some businesses through their custom servers. When they did integrate with custom server, you know, emails, they would say that they're delivered through Method, but they actually didn't go through. Like when I say they say that they've been delivered through Method, I mean like they've actually sent. You click the button to and it shows that it's sent, but then you can't have access to the email queue because you can't see anything there. So you just assume that it got delivered, but then there's the recipient. You find out recipient never received anything. So there is the run. You do run the risk of a decreased deliverability, especially if you don't have like a in-house tech admin, email admin that's managing your email servers. This may not be the best option for you. This is only the best option really for people who have a specific security requirement and they do have an in-house expert that does manage their email server settings for them. Then the custom server is a good option for you. Other than that, that is another thing, that if you don't have that, then you do run the risk of decreased deliverability. And yeah, this is how it looks like if you click the custom server, which you saw below. And then finally, I'm going to give you my recommended approach. So through my 10 years of working in Method was strictly building solutions for business owners and nothing less. I haven't done anything else but done that. That is what I enjoy, and that's what I've become an expert at, and what I've gone the most experience in. Is what you should do is you should actually click the send emails from Method servers option, so the recommended option, but then you should authenticate your domain right here. So now you're getting the best of both worlds. You are not going to, when you send an email out of Method, you're not going to get this notifications at mail.method.me option. You're actually going to get your own email address because you've now authenticated your domain. But then you're also getting increased deliverability, right? Now you're getting increased deliverability because now you're using Method servers and not your own custom server. And on top of that, you get access to the email queue, right? So you get access to this, so now you're getting the best of both worlds. And I've set up all my business owners on this setup and they're more than happy with it. It does the job. They, in terms of reliability, it's very, very consistent. There hasn't been issues. No maintenance really required. And this is why I would recommend this option. Obviously, there's pricing involved because now you're using Method servers, which is that 0.0009 cents USD per email, but that is nominal compared to competitors. Okay, you may be spending an extra $20 per month for sending, over 20,000 emails per month, which is a lot, right? So it's a fraction of the cost, and this is why I recommend, that option. And if you have any questions, or if you want to go and try to authenticate your domain on your own, again, the link to this Help Center article is right here. I'll include it below in the description of this video, so you can kind of go in and attempt to authenticate your domain. If you're having any issues, feel free to reach out to me. I'll have my website as well as my contact info below in the description of the video. Otherwise, this was, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it gave you value and you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe down below. It'll really push my videos up to the top of YouTube when it comes to Method CRM tutorials. My goal is to try to help business owners such as yourself do as much as possible on their own using Method CRM, because it is an incredibly powerful platform. And I do believe that, you can get a huge benefit from watching my tutorials and doing all this stuff on your own. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.